Today we are going to speak to Mr. Mukundan Menon, who is taking charge as Voltas's MD, and this is his first television interview. Mr. Menon, thank you so much for joining us. With everything that's happening around the consumer durable space, my first question to you is, what's the outlook for the festive season demand? What is it looking like, especially with the anticipated GST rate cut on white goods like ACs, which will go from 28% to that 18% mark?
So good morning, and actually, it's a very positive signal that what has happened in terms of the reduction of GST from 28 to 18% for the AC category. I think it will certainly spur demand because a 10% GST cut amounts to almost a 7.8% reduction in the customer price, which is a significant number. So we see that there will be a big upsurge in demand. All the more because it's coming on the back of a rather weak summer. This was a summer which was interrupted by pre-monsoon rains across the country. So it was a very muted demand during summer. So the pent-up demand plus this GST reduction boost, I think the festive sales is going to be really good.
Okay, so Mr. Menon, if the rate cut happens, how do you see it impacting the overall inventory planning? Because there has been an inventory overhang because of unseasonal monsoon, and considering the current demand, how are you planning the entire inventory that is already lying with the dealers, and then going forward because of the boost in demand, how will the inventory be planned?
Yeah, so the entire industry is sort of grappling with this challenge of having planned a fairly significant growth of around 15-20% over the last summer, which was a very bumper summer, which was a huge summer. The industry as a whole had grown during Q1 of last year by roughly around 50%. And some of the brands like us had grown by upwards of 65%. So on top of that number, the industry had planned another growth of 15-20%. So there is significant stocks in the channel. There's significant stocks with the brands, and I think the good thing about the way to look forward is that this GST cut will help us to sort of the sales will indeed be good, and I think some level of sanity will come into this channel stocks as well as in terms of the brand stocks. So this is really a good news after a rather weak summer.
All right, and what's your view on the government's advisory to keep AC temperatures not below that 20 degrees Celsius? Do you see this influencing consumer preferences or product design in any way?
So this is just a small software change which happens in the controller of the AC. The idea is to ensure that the people do not they reduce the temperature to such an extent like 16, and it's a huge energy guzzler. So the government has taken this thing that between 20 and 26 you can set the temperature so that people do not end up cooling more than what is required. So that I think is a very welcome step for the from an energy conservation point of view. So in terms of consumer preference, the most of the brands have got features within the product which is known as adaptive cooling. So it sort of picks up what is your preference and it will reset itself, but within the band of 20 to 26. So once this particular rule gets implemented and rolled out by all brands, I think it's a welcome move by the government.
All right, and when is the new BEE norms expected, and the impact on that with regards to where consumer preferences stand? Will that impact their purchases at all?
So the new table, which is a new energy label table, is coming into effect from 1st of January 2026. And so what happens with every table change is a 7 to 8% increase in the energy efficiency level of the product. So we see that the new energy table, the way we see it is that there will be some pre-buying in December of the old table. That's what happens every single year. So November, December, the festive sales plus the pre-buying because of the old table changing will spur growth for most of the brands. The 3-star and the 5-star are the two big categories which are sold in India today. The increment in terms of pricing for a 3-star is around 5% or so. the 5-star increase is a very significant, a 15% to 20% increase in prices is what we're expecting. So we expected the 5-star to be stocked up by most of the channel partners pre-January, that is in